Hey everybody, am I live? I believe that I am. I'm going to go ahead and share this out to my group really quickly. Pursuit of Self. If you're not there, you should be. I'm going to also share it out to my page, Aloma Solutions LLC, here on Facebook. If you have not liked my page, it would be nice if you did. So basically, you guys, I'm coming on because I wanted to talk about the video that I posted earlier. And it is interesting. So let me share this out really quick, make sure. How y'all doing? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you guys. I hope you are finding yourself in a beautiful space this morning. If you don't, put yourself in that beautiful space because it is your choice. I am Trina of Aloma Solutions. I'm Trina of Aloma Solutions. I'm your intuitive love coach, self-love coach. I help you through your inner child healing process, getting you to your true self, right? So anyway, I'm coming on because I want to talk about the video. If you guys haven't seen the video, then I'm just going to give you a really quick synopsis of what it's about. The video is basically of a young girl. She's a young woman. She's met this guy. I think they were talking for a couple of days, and they were going to get ready to go on their first date. And on the first date, in conversations during the first couple of days, she was talking to him and getting to know each other where they felt comfortable to actually go on a date. He mentioned his like of cigars or whatnot. And the young lady decided that, you know, she would bring a cigar as a gift to him for that first date. When he said he was a cigar enthusiast, she realized that her dad was too, and her dad had a cigar that he offered her to, you know, to be able to take to him, and her mom wrapped it for her and everything else. Now this is where I wanted to get into it. She posted a video on TikTok, and if you haven't seen it, check out my video. It's right below this video here. She posted a video on TikTok, and she got so much flack on doing that. And it's because people were saying that, you know, who does that? Who go buy guys gifts? He's going to think this and he's going to think that, and a whole bunch of other things. And I'm not saying that folks' experiences are not their experiences, but I do want to bring this to, I want to give my thoughts on the video, right? So basically, the title of this is When Nice is Negative. And the reason I wanted to do a video on it because I actually had a conversation with millennials yesterday on this very same topic. And what was continuously brought forward was, well, we are in a different time, right? We're in a different time than you, and people act different now. And I'm not saying that they don't, but I'm going to tell you one thing that I do know for certain. People are people. Now, we may be operating on a larger scale of trauma. Therefore, we do different things that look a little bit worse and worse and worse each time, that it seems like it's hopeless to the people who are stuck in that. But people are still people, and people still have that same base need, right? People still have the same base need. And so my thoughts on this was, good for her. That is an amazing thing to do. It's not like she went out, the cigar was free because it came from her dad, and that little piece of effort that she put into showing him that she was listening to him is cool. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, you know, why is she chasing the guy? Guys are supposed to chase us. She just putting all this, you know, she's desperate and blah, 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 and all this other stuff, right? So this is what how I'm going to give you my thoughts on this, because I don't know this young lady. Looking at the video, she didn't seem like she felt into any type of desperate space or anything like that. But I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. To start with the anti side, I understand that we go through things that made us believe that any sign of vulnerability or any sign of sweetness or kindness can be looked at as weak, right? It can be looked at as a symptom of a victim person, right? Somebody who we can that can get preyed upon, right, by the wrong people. And so in our experiences, we deal with so much crap. Like I said, we're still people. We just have a deeper level of trauma that we're trying to deal with, and therefore we're seeing the world in a different way. And when we see the world in a different way, we act different ways and we respond in different ways, right? So when this generation of folk, and I won't even say generation of folk, because there were older people who were saying the anti thing as well. when you've gone through so many things that have traumatized you in a sense, when people have done you wrong for kindness, have taken your kindness for weakness, have just done things that make you feel like I cannot show any sign of weakness or else I will become a victim. That is a trauma response. And it's so much so that something as simple as a cigar and a cigar cutter becomes something negative. That trigger of her doing something nice for someone just exploded on the screen. You can see all of the trauma being displayed in the comments. Now, there's also the argument around, women should stay in their feminine. And that's something I think we're very confused on. We believe that you have to be feminine to be a woman, you have to be masculine to be a man. But the thing is feminine and masculine are energies. It's not like it's a male or a female. And every last one of us should have a balance of the feminine and masculine energy. Feminine is simply the receiving, the softer. Masculine is the action, the energy, right? So we all should have a little bit of each inside, balanced. It should be balanced. And when it's off balance, we fall into that masculine toxicity, what they call it, or you fall into that toxic femininity or whatever. That's what happens when it's off balance. And because we deal with so much of that in our experiences, it changes the way we think of, it skews our view of what is, right? And so knowing that there should be a balance, you can do anything that you want to do when it comes down to showing your kindness, right? Whatever. Now, so back to the conversation. So I was being, it was millennials that, like I said, I was talking to, and they were saying, you just don't understand, these guys out here are crazy. These are different type of guys. Yes, but every single guy is a human being. Everybody is still a base human, right? We're still a base human. It's our experiences that shape us to be the F-boys or the good guys or whatever else it is. And so my take on this whole thing is, and you guys know I'm going to always bring it back to self-love and self-care, because that's where it begins, self-healing. That healing is where you can be kind without expectations. And this is the issue that we were running into. Presenting someone with something because you're simply being kind is a wonderful thing. There's no expectations, and you're doing it because, you know what, I was listening. He seemed to be a decent person, or she seems to be a decent person. I'm doing it from my heart with no expectations. I'm not looking for any type of return on this action, right? There's no desperation in the action. It's just me being a considerate person, right? And then there's the person who go out and buy all this stuff because they are expecting something. They're expecting to make somebody love them more. They're expecting somebody, well, if I give him a gift, he's not going to chase me. It all comes down to that lack that we feel inside of ourselves on the definition behind the things that we do, right? If I am presenting somebody with a gift from my heart that I just want to present you with a gift with no expectations, it doesn't matter to me what you think about why I did it. It wouldn't matter to me what you think about why I did it, right? But if I'm going in with expectations and I'm doing it for a reason, I'm doing it for you to like me more. I'm doing it for you to see that I am worthy. I'm doing it because I want you to think that I'm different. And then when that don't happen, there comes those feelings. There comes those emotions that attach to negativity. It comes to, I gave him this gift and he still left, or I gave him this gift and he didn't do anything for me. That is when it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem right here. What you are expecting from your actions. If you are not doing something because it is just what you want to do and there is no expectations and no desperations attached to it, who cares how it's received? Because you're not doing it just for that. You're not doing it for that. You're doing it because that is what moved you to do. You're moving authentically inside of yourself. And it doesn't have to be a masculine action. Now, yes, it's energy. It's energy. But there is a fine balance between the masculine and the feminine, right? There's a fine balance, right? So the example that was used yesterday in the conversation was, say you have a gym enthusiast, right? the person that you're talking to, the guy is loves going to the gym, loves working out, and you found that out in a couple of conversations that you had. When you meet him for the first time, say you got a very inexpensive water bottle that you thought maybe he would like, and I saw it and I thought about it, right? There's a difference in this. This is the first presentation. Hey, look what I got you. Look what I got you. Don't you like it? I just wrapped it up for you, and I wanted to give it to you, and look at this. There's some desperation in that. There's some, I want you to look, see, right? I'm not telling you to pretend or to act any type of way. What I'm telling you is when you're in your true self, there is no need to try to get validation from somebody else when you do something kind. Now, if this person was put off less of that desperate energy, less of that, the aggression type stuff, it would be a totally different scenario. And I'm, like I said, I'm not telling you how to act or how to say it. And you can totally say it in that way and not have any expectations whatsoever. And your actions after that would prove that. And so another presentation of the exact same thing would be just a casual greeting and just basically, hey, here, I saw this and I thought about our conversations, thought I'd get this for you. And you can still remain inside of your feminine without that desperate energy attached to it, right? You can still stay inside of your feminine, even in a masculine stance of taking that action of presenting. I hope I'm making sense. But the difference in the action is this. The person that you're giving it to, whether they are an F-boy or whatever else they are, right? The way they take it does not matter to you. So it's not going to affect you, right? The way they take it, if they are so unhealed that they see it as, this is a way for me to manipulate her. The only way that they can manipulate you is if you agree with it. If you receive the manipulation, if you fall for the manipulative tactics. If you get outside of who you are and let somebody else dictate the way you act. That's the only way a person can manipulate you. The only manipulation is somebody making you act a certain way without you being like any control over it or something. You have control over what you choose. You have control over it. Unless you're acting in fear or you're acting in desperation or you're acting in imbalance or you're acting in unhealing, then of course it's going to be some type of a different situation at that point. This is why when I talk about making sure you get that inner child work done, making sure you get that healing taken care of. Now, we won't ever be 100%, but as we move and grow, we will see the voids where we need to feel, and we'll be aware. And that way we can check our triggers. So when a person is kind to us, it's not like you simping. It's not like, how desperate are you? Why are you chasing a guy? Why are you buying all this stuff for a guy? I'm not saying go out and buy nobody no dang old house, because if you're doing stuff, if you're doing watches and this type of stuff, you got to think about where you're coming from with that. If you're trying to buy a person, then that's not a genuine kindness. That is because if you buy something, you are expecting something in return. So if you're trying to buy somebody with expensive gifts, then of course you have that expectation attached to it. It's a totally different thing. But when you're just being kind for kindness' sake, when you're being kind for kindness' sake, then there's no way that can go wrong. At least not with you. If a person decides I'm going to be a butthole after she give me this, then you just found out what you needed to know a little bit quicker, and it didn't take anything away from you, because when you gave that gift, it wasn't for anything in return. It was because you wanted to. So nothing was taken away from you. Your kindness wasn't taken advantage of. Because like I said, the only way a person can take advantage of you or manipulate you is if you agree to the transaction. So I wanted to come on and share that, and I know people say, it's different times. These millennials, you just don't understand how these people are messed up, or like I said, these old folk messed up. And it's all because of the healing process. And what I explained to them was this: even a person who is unhealed, and if you're only talking to a person for a couple of days and you don't realize their level of awareness, even a person who is unhealed can't move you if you are working on yourself, if you're in that process of healing. They still can't move you. Only thing they can do is give you data. It can only give you information of who you're dealing with and how you know, the person that you're actually doing these things for. It only gives it for you. Then you check yourself and making sure, oh, hey, I'm doing this because this is from me. I have nothing to do with how they take it, because it's not about them. Even though it's for them, when you do something from your true self, you're doing it from you with no expectations. And we can say to the end, you know, well, isn't that stepping outside of our roles as men and women? Only when you have expectations of what that role is supposed to produce. Only when you have an expectations of what you think that role is supposed to produce. If you're acting a certain way just because you're trying to get something, once again, with expectation, then yes, you are totally out of line, in my opinion. Unless that's what you want. If that's what you're trying to do, then that's what you want to do. I won't even say it's out of line. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. But trust me when I say, when you act in your truth, when you act without those expectations on something for somebody else based on something that you do, all of that stuff, there's no way that it can be a manipulation. There's no way that it can be. There's no way that you being kind is looked at as a vulnerability. It's just a strength. It's a strength when you can live your life as you and do the things that you want to do that brings you joy without somebody else's reaction to it affecting your day. It's just a strength, and there's a freedom in that. So I wanted to come on and just kind of give you a different perspective, and also to let you know that if this is bothering you, if something like that bothers you, check your triggers. Check your triggers. And that is not a good or a bad thing. That is just a life thing. We all go through stuff, and we all get our experiences, and we learn our lessons from that. But we have to look at those lessons as lessons and not as implants like in your head. It's not like something that this is the rule. Just because he did you wrong or she did you wrong and they did this when they did you wrong, that doesn't mean that it has anything to do with you. That has to do with that individual. And to place it on everybody else basically closes the door to anything else that you're trying to achieve in that arena. It closes the door, you know, because now you have let somebody else's reaction, your expectation of that person's reaction, change your reality. And it can't happen unless you allow it. Get inside of you. Get the healing that you need. I promise you, that little piece of scary, when they talk about inner child healing and shadow work and all that stuff, that little piece of scary that you go through where you look at what made you the way that you are, it is so worth every breath of realization once you do. It is so worth every single breath of you living in your life as your true self. And look, now, that is the video. That's my thoughts on the video. And I do want to, before I wrap this all up, I do want to say this. I am doing a mini masterclass on birthing that inner child. Birthing that inner child, because that's where it starts. It starts with that inner child healing. It starts with looking at who you are and seeing your true self, and not you responding to the way the world has shaped you to respond. Not from your experiences, the way your experiences has shaped you to respond and moved you away from who you truly are. So I will be doing that on Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time right here on this channel, this same channel. So join me there. It is a live, I call it a mini masterclass. It's just me going through the process of my inner child healing process. And hopefully you'll join me there at 7 o'clock Friday. That's tomorrow, Friday p.m. Eastern Time. So guys, watch the video if you haven't watched it. It's the one right below this video on my personal page. And let me know what you think about it. And don't be, you don't have to change your answers according to, this video right here. Check what your answers truly are. Check if you feel like there is some type of negative that's attached to that niceness that puts you in a space. And then join me on Friday and we can talk about it, and we will find, no doubt about it, we will find that story that makes you believe that nice becomes negative, okay? So until next time, you guys, take care of yourself and each other. And, you know that we're all connected, right? We're all connected. And I would definitely see you guys on the other side. Take care.